Keeping your life private in a world that demands constant sharing isn't easy. For the Stoics, it wasn't about hiding, it was about protecting what matters most. Privacy isn't secrecy, it's a boundary, a way to safeguard your growth, focus, and inner tranquility from the noise and opinions of the outside world. They understood that sharing too much, whether it's your goals, struggles, or even acts of kindness, can dilute their power and pull you away from the deliberate, thoughtful life they championed. Hi, I'm Jason, and I've come to understand the value of keeping certain things to myself. Not because I'm trying to build walls, but because some parts of life need quiet space to grow. In 2025, as the world grows louder, this Stoic principle is more relevant than ever. Privacy isn't just a choice, it's a tool for self-mastery. Today we'll explore 7 things to keep private in 2025, things which the Stoics would advise keeping private to protect your peace and sharpen your focus. Once you've finished watching, go to the comments and type, "I will be satisfied if the smallest thing goes well," and consider even that to be a great achievement to affirm your commitment to this practice. Like the video if you find it helpful and share it with someone who needs a reminder to protect their inner world. And if you're ready to make Stoic growth a daily habit, hit subscribe for more insights every day. As you listen to the chapters that follow, you'll find embedded within them links to some of the most transformative videos I've published yet. Each link comes up when you hear a ding, so don't forget to check them out. Now, let's uncover how discretion can be the foundation of your strength, growth, and purpose. 1. Keep your intentions and goals private. The Stoics emphasize that what truly matters is action, not words or declarations. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." In the context of intentions and goals, this means that plans and aspirations are best kept private, protected from external influences and the distortions of ego. Sharing your goals too widely can create a dependency on external validation, which distracts you from the actual pursuit of those goals. It shifts the focus from aligning your actions with reason and virtue to seeking approval or praise. In 2025, maintaining silence about your intentions will allow you to remain grounded in what matters, the process itself. Instead of announcing your goals, focus on living them. To the Stoics, growth comes not from telling others what you aim to achieve, but from deliberate, consistent action. This approach builds internal strength and keeps you aligned with what is in your control. Sharing your intentions prematurely can expose you to unnecessary opinions, criticism, or even misplaced encouragement, all of which can derail your focus or tempt you into valuing appearances over substance. Epictetus advises us to be cautious about what we show the world, teaching that true progress is inward and independent of external acknowledgement. By keeping your goals private, you cultivate resilience against both the praise and the criticism of others. This privacy fosters clarity, allowing you to assess your goals based on your own values and principles, rather than the expectations of society. When the results of your effort eventually come to light, they will speak for themselves, and your character will shine through your achievements rather than your declarations. For the Stoic, true satisfaction lies in the quiet pursuit of excellence, not in public proclamations. Keeping your intentions private is an act of self-mastery and a commitment to the deeper work of becoming, rather than merely appearing, virtuous. 2. Keep your personal struggles private. Stoicism teaches us to approach life's challenges with inner strength and self-reliance, which makes keeping your personal struggles private a key aspect of practicing this philosophy. Sharing struggles indiscriminately can dilute the focus needed to face them, and may invite distractions that prevent you from resolving them effectively. When you share your struggles too freely, you risk externalizing a deeply personal process, giving others undue influence over your internal state. Your struggles are part of your journey toward resilience, and handling them with quiet dignity reinforces your capacity to act virtuously in the face of adversity. While it's not about suppressing your emotions or avoiding help when it's genuinely needed, Stoicism encourages you to be selective and intentional about seeking support. Discussing your struggles with those who cannot contribute constructively often leads to pity or misplaced advice, which can amplify feelings of vulnerability. Epictetus advises focusing on what is within your control, and how you react to struggles is fully yours to own. Seeking sympathy or external validation risks weakening that ownership, shifting responsibility for your well-being to others. Moreover, keeping your struggles private fosters self-mastery and builds your inner fortitude. When you choose to confront challenges quietly, you strengthen your ability to endure hardships independently, a practice the Stoics valued as central to developing character. Seneca believed that enduring adversity without complaint is the mark of a wise person. He wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." By keeping your struggles private, you prevent the amplification of imagined fears that can occur when they are exposed to public scrutiny. This doesn't mean isolating yourself entirely. Seeking counsel from trusted individuals, those who embody wisdom and virtue, is aligned with Stoic principles. However, turning your struggles into public declarations shifts the focus from addressing them to explaining or justifying them, which risks feeding your ego rather than your growth. Instead, use your struggles as opportunities for introspection and practice. Are you approaching them with reason? Are you acting with courage, temperance, and justice? When you keep them private, you preserve the sacred space within yourself for honest reflection and growth. Ultimately, privacy around personal struggles reinforces your autonomy and resilience. The Stoics teach that challenges are not punishments, but opportunities to practice virtue. By facing them quietly and deliberately, you transform struggles into tools for becoming stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your highest values. The Stoic call isn't to suffer in silence, but to be deliberate in employing reason, in being discerning when solving problems with people and situations on your own. It all comes down to your willingness to be rational. Will you be rational? 3. Keep your financial situation private. For the Stoics, wealth, like all externals, is classified as an indifferent. It is neither inherently good nor bad, but its influence on your life depends entirely on how you use and perceive it. Sharing details of your financial situation, whether your wealth or your struggles, risks placing undue emphasis on something that should hold no bearing on your character. The Stoics advise, receive wealth or prosperity without arrogance and be ready to let it go. To focus too much on financial matters or discuss them openly invites both pride and unnecessary comparison, neither of which aligns with the Stoic pursuit of inner tranquility. When you keep your financial situation private, you protect yourself from external judgments and distractions. Broadcasting wealth often fosters envy or unwarranted admiration, feeding your ego in ways that draw you away from the Stoic ideal of humility and self-control. Conversely, disclosing financial difficulties can lead to pity or unsolicited advice that diminishes your sense of autonomy. Seneca warns against letting external factors, like money, define you. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By keeping your financial circumstances private, you remind yourself and others that your value lies in your virtue, not in the size of your bank account. Moreover, the Stoics teach the importance of moderation and detachment from material wealth. sharing too much about your financial status risks tethering your identity to possessions or lack thereof, undermining your ability to remain indifferent to gains and losses. The Stoics say, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." When you focus privately on managing your resources wisely and without ostentation, you cultivate the Stoic virtues of temperance and prudence, regardless of your financial situation. Keeping your financial matters to yourself also preserves your mental clarity. The more you disclose, the more you open yourself to the influence of others' opinions, expectations, and judgments. This external noise can cloud your reasoning and distract you from aligning your actions with virtue. Instead, handle your financial life with quiet competence, reflecting regularly on whether your relationship with wealth aligns with your values. Are you using your resources justly, with gratitude and purpose? Are you prepared to face financial loss without despair or undue attachment? The Stoic approach to wealth is about balance. While money is necessary for living, it should never dominate your thoughts or dictate your worth. By keeping your financial situation private, you protect yourself from external distractions and focus on what truly matters, living virtuously, acting justly, and cultivating inner richness that no amount of money can buy. 4. Keep your relationships private. For the Stoics, relationships are an integral part of life, offering countless opportunities to practice virtue, be it love, patience, justice, or forgiveness. However, the Stoics also recognize the importance of discretion in matters of the heart and mind. Your relationships, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, are deeply personal and should not be exposed to the scrutiny of others unnecessarily. Epictetus reminds us that the value of a relationship lies in how we conduct ourselves within it, not in how others perceive it. The good or ill of a man lies within his own will, not in the opinion of others. When you share the details of your relationships too freely, you invite external judgments and unsolicited advice that can disrupt the natural course of those bonds. The Stoics emphasize focusing on what is within your control, and your control lies in how you act toward others, not in how others interpret your relationships. Broadcasting grievances, triumphs, or the intimate aspects of your connections risks shifting your focus from nurturing those relationships to managing how they appear to the outside world. This can erode the sincerity and depth of the bond, replacing genuine connection with performative interactions. Moreover, keeping your relationships private helps protect the sanctity of those bonds. Marcus Aurelius advises, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Relationships thrive on mutual respect and trust, which can be undermined when their intimate details are shared indiscriminately. When you confide too much in others, you risk betraying the trust of those involved, reducing your relationships to topics of casual discussion rather than preserving them as sacred spaces for growth and connection. Privacy in relationships also shields you from external comparisons, which are toxic to their health. When you discuss your relationship openly, you inadvertently invite comparisons to others' experiences or expectations, fostering dissatisfaction. The Stoics emphasize, do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. Relationships, like life, are imperfect, and they flourish when cultivated with care and understanding, rather than subjected to outside scrutiny. That said, the Stoics would not advise total secrecy in relationships. Trusted confidants, those who embody wisdom and virtue, can provide valuable guidance when challenges arise. But this counsel must be sought sparingly and with discernment, always prioritizing the health and integrity of the relationship itself. For the Stoics, relationships are arenas for practicing justice, patience, and kindness. Privacy allows you to focus on embodying these virtues, free from the distractions of external opinions or societal expectations. Ultimately, keeping your relationships private is an act of respect for yourself, for the other person, and for the relationship as a whole. It ensures that your actions are guided by reason and virtue rather than by the fluctuating opinions of others. By maintaining this discretion, you protect the authenticity of your bonds, allowing them to grow naturally and meaningfully, aligned with the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with others while remaining true to yourself. 5. Keep your acts of kindness private. The Stoics teach that true kindness is performed for its own sake, free from any desire for recognition or reward. Acts of kindness, when done sincerely, align with the virtue of justice, which Marcus Aurelius defines as treating others fairly and contributing to the common good. However, broadcasting your good deeds dilutes their purity, turning them into tools for self-aggrandizement rather than genuine expressions of virtue. The Stoics maintain that he who does good to another should do it without hesitation, just as he would help himself. To keep your acts of kindness private is to embody the Stoic ideal of virtue for its own sake, untainted by external validation. When kindness is performed for recognition, it becomes transactional rather than virtuous. Sharing your good deeds with others risks shifting your focus from the act itself to the approval it generates. This erodes the Stoic principle of independence from externals. Epictetus warns against such dependency, reminding us, "If you wish to be good, first believe that you are bad." In other words, growth requires humility, and seeking praise for your kindness fosters arrogance rather than the quiet cultivation of character. Keeping your acts of kindness private also protects you from the dangers of pride and vanity. When you perform a kind act, it is an opportunity to practice humility and gratitude. Gratitude for the chance to serve others, and humility in recognizing that such service is your duty as a human being. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, what does not benefit the hive does not benefit the bee. Kindness is not a favor. It is the natural expression of our shared humanity. Keeping it private ensures that the act remains rooted in this principle rather than in self-interest. Moreover, discretion in kindness preserves the dignity of the recipient. Broadcasting your generosity can inadvertently embarrass or humiliate those you aim to help, undermining the very purpose of your kindness. By keeping your actions private, you honor the Stoic value of respecting others' autonomy and feelings. Kindness is meant to soothe, not to shame. Privacy ensures that your kindness is about the recipient, not about you. This practice also aligns with the Stoic pursuit of inner peace. The more you focus on the intrinsic value of your actions, the less you are swayed by the opinions of others. Marcus Aurelius advises, "Be satisfied if the smallest thing goes well, and consider even that to be a great achievement." By keeping your acts of kindness private, you free yourself from the burdens of external validation, allowing your actions to be guided purely by reason and virtue. In the end, private acts of kindness are a reflection of your integrity. They show that your virtue is genuine, not performative. They remind you that living in accordance with nature means acting justly without expectation of reward or acknowledgement. By practicing kindness quietly, you grow closer to the Stoic ideal of living a life of purpose, wisdom, and harmony with others. Let your kindness be a flame that warms without seeking notice, a true expression of the virtues the Stoics cherished most. 6. Keep your daily routines private. The Stoics placed immense value on structure and discipline, recognizing that consistent routines are essential for cultivating virtue and aligning one's life with reason. However, they also emphasized the importance of privacy in these routines, understanding that sharing too much about your habits can distract from their purpose and turn them into performances rather than tools for personal growth. Epictetus cautioned against seeking external approval, reminding us, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Your daily routines should be a quiet, steady expression of your principles, not something showcased to impress or seek validation from others. When routines are shared publicly, they risk losing their grounding in personal meaning. The purpose of a daily routine is to refine your inner self, to cultivate virtues like discipline, temperance, and focus. Broadcasting them shifts the focus outward, tethering them to how others perceive your efforts rather than how they contribute to your development. This is why Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Be satisfied with your inner self and do not seek applause for what ought to be done quietly." The power of a routine lies in its consistency and quiet effectiveness, not in the attention it garners. Keeping your daily routines private also helps you maintain autonomy. The moment others are aware of your habits, you may feel compelled to stick to them, not because they serve your growth, but because of external expectations. This undermines the Stoic principle of freedom from externals, where your actions should stem from reasoned choice, not societal pressure. By keeping your routines private, you ensure they remain rooted in your values and are adaptable to your needs, free from the judgment or influence of others. Furthermore, privacy in your routines prevents unnecessary comparisons. Sharing your practices invites others to measure their lives against yours, potentially creating envy or self-doubt in them. There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. Privacy allows you to focus on improving yourself rather than competing with others or inadvertently encouraging them to compete with you. Daily routines are also an essential space for introspection, which requires solitude and focus. Reflecting on your day, practicing mindfulness, or setting intentions for tomorrow is a deeply personal process. Sharing these moments too openly can dilute their impact, turning inward reflection into outward performance. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on his routines in private writings, reminding himself of his duty to live virtuously and with purpose. His routines were not meant for display, but for grounding himself in the principles he sought to embody. Ultimately, keeping your daily routines private ensures they remain a tool for inner growth, aligned with Stoic principles of self-discipline and self-mastery. Privacy helps you cultivate habits that are genuine, adaptable, and free from the distortions of ego or external validation. It allows you to act from a place of reason, maintaining focus on what truly matters, becoming a better version of yourself. Let your routines work silently in the background, building strength and clarity, so that the results, your character and your actions, speak for themselves. This is how the Stoics lived, and it is how we too can grow in alignment with their enduring wisdom. 7. Keep your philosophical practices private. Philosophy for the Stoics was not about abstract theories or intellectual displays. It was a way of life, a guide for living virtuously and purposefully. Philosophical practices, whether daily reflections, meditation on virtue, or exercises in self-control, are deeply personal tools meant to align your actions with reason and strengthen your inner self. The Stoics believed that these practices must be pursued with sincerity and humility, not shared for applause or recognition. Epictetus reminds us, if you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in extraneous matters. Do not wish to seem knowledgeable, and if some regard you as important, distrust yourself. In other words, your philosophical growth is not a performance, it is an internal journey. When you share your philosophical practices too openly, you risk turning them into performative acts rather than sincere efforts at self-mastery. The modern temptation to share everything, your morning affirmations, journaling routines, or meditative insights, can shift your focus from the transformation of your inner self to the pursuit of external validation. This is antithetical to Stoicism, which teaches that virtue must be its own reward. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, a private journal, "Don't waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others unless it is for the common good. It will keep you from doing anything useful." Marcus did not write for others, but to remind himself of the principles he strove to embody, illustrating the Stoic belief that philosophical practice is meant to serve your own development, not the opinions of others. Keeping your philosophical practices private also allows you to engage with them authentically and adapt them to your unique challenges. Philosophy is not a one-size-fits-all endeavor. It requires introspection and experimentation. Sharing your practices prematurely can expose them to scrutiny, criticism, or well-meaning but misguided advice that may lead you away from what works best for you. The Stoics maintain that philosophy calls for simple living, not talking, for deeds, not words. By keeping your practices private, you protect the sacred space where genuine self-exploration and growth occur. Privacy also shields your philosophical practices from the corrosive effects of ego. Publicizing your efforts to live philosophically can foster pride, tempting you to believe you are virtuous simply because you are seen practicing virtue. This illusion of progress can stall genuine growth, as it shifts the focus from improving your character to maintaining an image. The Stoics teach us to detach from appearances and remain grounded in what truly matters, the alignment of your actions with reason and nature. Be content if the smallest thing goes well, and consider even that to be a great achievement. Another reason to keep your practices private is to avoid judgment, both from yourself and from others. The Stoic journey is one of progress, not perfection. Sharing your practices can invite others to critique your methods or question your progress, which can sow doubt or lead you to abandon promising approaches. Moreover, you may judge yourself too harshly if you fail to live up to the standards you have publicly set. Privacy preserves the freedom to learn, grow, and falter without unnecessary external pressure. Ultimately, the Stoics remind us that philosophical practices are deeply personal acts of self-care and refinement. They are meant to transform your inner life, to bring you closer to the virtues of wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Keeping them private ensures that they remain genuine, untainted by external validation or comparison. Let your philosophy shine through your actions, not through declarations of your efforts. In doing so, you embody the Stoic ideal of quiet, steady progress toward living a life of purpose and virtue. Always remember what Epictetus said: "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Keep your practices between yourself and your reason, and let the results speak for themselves. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear this. Let's strive to live better, more respectful lives. Until next time, stay strong and stay stoic.